Have you ever felt the heat of an argument rising, your heart pounding, your words scrambling to keep up with emotion? What if I told you that the most powerful way to win any argument is not to fight it, not to dominate it, but to dissolve it, to expose its weakness not with force, but with clarity? That's what the Socratic Method does. And today, we're going to walk through 5 questions that, when used with precision and virtue, can dismantle any argument, reveal hidden truths, and elevate your mind to a place of calm, stoic mastery. This isn't about manipulation. It's about illumination. These questions aren't weapons. They're lanterns. And once you learn to use them, you'll never see conflict the same way again. Let's begin with the foundation. Socrates didn't teach by telling. He taught by asking. He believed that truth wasn't something you handed to someone. It was something you helped them uncover. The Stoics took this further. They believed that reason was sacred, that clarity was a form of virtue, that the wise person doesn't react, they reflect, doesn't impose, they inquire. So what happens when you apply this to everyday life? To debates about politics, ethics, relationships, faith, or even your own internal struggles? You begin to see that most arguments aren't built on truth. They're built on assumptions, on emotion, on borrowed beliefs. And when you ask the right question, those foundations begin to shake. The first question is deceptively simple. What do you mean by that? It sounds basic, but it's a scalpel. Most people use vague words to sound confident. That's unfair. That's toxic. That's disrespectful. But what do they mean? What's their definition? When you ask this question, you force precision. You invite clarity. And often, the person realizes they haven't thought it through. They're reacting, not reasoning. This question is powerful because it slows the pace. It shifts the energy. It invites the other person to define their terms. And once they do, you can begin to examine those definitions. Are they consistent? Are they shared? Are they even real? The second question cuts deeper. How do you know that's true? This is the question of evidence, of epistemology. Where did this belief come from? Is it based on experience, on data, on hearsay, on emotion? When you ask this, you're not attacking. You're inviting reflection. And that's the key. The Socratic Method isn't about confrontation. It's about revelation. Many arguments collapse here because the person realizes they're standing on sand. They've repeated something they heard. They've assumed something they felt. But they haven't examined it. And when you ask this question calmly, respectfully, you become the mirror they didn't know they needed. The third question opens the door to possibility. Could there be another explanation? This is the question that breaks rigidity, that invites humility, that says, maybe there's more than one way to see this. Maybe your interpretation isn't the only one. Maybe your conclusion isn't inevitable. This question doesn't just challenge the argument. It challenges the ego. It invites the person to loosen their grip, to consider alternatives. And in doing so, it creates space for dialogue, for growth, for truth. The fourth question is ethical and expansive. What would happen if everyone thought this way? This is the test of universality, of consequence. If your belief became law, what kind of world would we live in? If everyone lied to protect their pride, what would happen? If everyone acted out of vengeance, what kind of society would we have? This question forces the person to zoom out, to see the ripple effect, to confront the moral weight of their position. And often, they realize that their belief, when universalized, leads to chaos, to injustice, to contradiction. The fifth question is the most personal. How does this align with your other values? This is the question of integrity, of coherence. You say you value compassion, but you justify cruelty. You say you believe in freedom, but you defend censorship. You say you want peace, but you promote division. This question doesn't accuse. It invites introspection. It asks the person to look in the mirror, not just at their argument, but at their soul. And when done with grace, it can lead to profound transformation. Now, let's talk about how to use these questions in real life. Not just in debates, but in moments of tension, in conversations with loved ones, in your own internal dialogue. Because the Socratic Method isn't just a tool for argument. It's a path to wisdom. Imagine you're in a heated discussion. Instead of reacting, you pause. You breathe. You ask, "What do you mean by that?" The energy shifts. The person slows down. They begin to explain. And in that explanation, you find the real issue. Then you ask, "How do you know that's true?" They reflect. They search. They begin to see the gaps, the assumptions, the borrowed beliefs. Then you ask, "Could there be another explanation?" And suddenly, the rigidity softens. The mind opens. The conversation becomes a journey, not a battle. Then you ask, "What would happen if everyone thought this way?" And the person begins to see the bigger picture, the ethical weight, the societal impact. And finally, you ask, "How does this align with your other values?" And the person confronts themselves, their contradictions, their deeper truths. This isn't just about winning arguments. It's about becoming someone who thinks clearly, speaks wisely, and lives with integrity. But here's the warning: don't use these questions to manipulate. Don't use them to dominate. Use them to elevate, to illuminate, to serve truth, not ego. The Stoics believed that philosophy wasn't just theory, it was practice. That wisdom wasn't just knowledge, it was character. And the Socratic Method, when used with virtue, becomes a path to both. So here's your challenge. In your next conversation, use one of these questions. Just one. Watch what happens. Watch how the energy shifts, how the clarity grows, how the truth emerges. And if this video has helped you think more clearly, live more wisely, and speak more truthfully, subscribe. But more than that, practice. Don't just consume wisdom, embody it. Don't just admire Socrates. Become a student of truth. Because in a world full of noise, the one who asks the right question becomes the voice of clarity.